I'm going to take this and turn it into this. My name is Aecrix, you can call me Eric. In this video, I'll be creating the ultimate indoor plant stand for my YouTube studio. This is part of a series called Room Renovations, where I take a room in my house and I alter or design it completely with creations I make by myself. In the last video of this series, I repainted this entire room. This giant indoor plant stand will be the first official permanent structure of the studio's redesign. To get an idea of what I want this to look like, I taped up my wall. I've never had the opportunity to make something from scratch before, exactly how I wanted to design it. And I'm kind of overwhelmed because I've never had the option before. This is ideally what I like to end up with, but I'll be limited to whatever scrap wood is laying around in my garage. You see, I'll be building this plant stand completely for free with materials and technology I already own. The board I need is on the bottom, because of course it is. I know a lot of people would look at this lumber and assume that its life is over, but I don't see that. I see what it could become. I'll be attempting to make this ugly 4x4 into 4 separate legs. It's horribly warped and needs to be squared off on my jointer and planer. Only then can I divide it into 4s and end up with something that looks passable. Alright, here's what the legs look like now. Pine wood, being softwood, is very fragile and really only becomes strong once it's fastened, jointed, or chemically fused together with wood glue. Knowing this, I round over its edges anyways, expecting some blowout and accepting it when it happens. With 2 sides of these legs rounded over, I sand it with 80 grit to remove any potential splinters or fractures. Then I apply Danish oil with varnish and stack them outside in indirect sunlight. Danish oil can take up to 3 weeks to fully cure, but I refuse not to use it on a plant shelf. It's one of the only oils that, once fully cured, actively repels standing water. With the legs done, I can move on to the shelves themselves. If I'm going to make this as thin as I want them to be, I'll need to have these boards on the table after squaring them off. Now that these are all halved, I have twice the amount of material, and the idea here is probably to cut them into either 1-inch or 2-inch strips. I have to make a decision. There's a lot of twisting in these boards just by having them. So I think I'm gonna go to 2-inch. If I do 1-inch, I'm afraid I might have a little too much warp. Here's a little pro tip. Don't have your surge bar in 100-degree weather just getting baked, because then it'll keep going out. My God, this is hot. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3 shelves. I'm gonna have to do 33-inch maximum, equals 11 inches each. So 11-inch shelves, is that enough? 11 inches is this big. And that's basically 2 pots, 2 full-grown pots for plants for me. With the dimensions decided on, it was time to start the laminations. The only problem is they have to be on my floor. Oh, God, pipe clamps are just the best. That's gonna be the best lamination for sure. 1 more to go! Here on the next morning, I've run into a problem. Look at all the paint. You think this one's got the same problem? I'm willing to bet yes. With all the shelf laminations fused and sturdy, I'm going to cheat and run them through my planer until they're cleaned off. There's only so much time in the day, and I work hard enough. I don't need to make anything more difficult on myself. After the planer treatment, I can sand them off on all sides with 80 grit to smooth their surfaces out. I'm not quite done with these shelves. You see, under these shelves, I need to build lightboxes. This will allow me to slot in greenhouse panels and diffuse the LEDs to protect my eyes, and bring a better array of light for the plants. To do this, I'll cut out the same length panels as the shelves and bring them over to my router table. Using a square board and a small straight router bit, I can make a groove on each side where I want these panels to slot in. These strips of wood are incredibly thin, so using screws here would be disastrous. What I need to do is glue them onto the bottom of these shelves and allow them a proper cure time to fuse together. After that, it's fairly easy to clean off the fronts with an orbital sander. Then, I can cut the leftover twin wall panels from my pergola video and slot them in for a dry fit. With everything looking good, I can apply the same varnish Danish oil to the shelves. I can connect the two shelves with screws from the light boxes, but the last shelf doesn't have a light box. So I need to create something to attach them at the bottom. No one's really gonna see the underneath of the bottom shelf, so I'll just connect some blocks to strips of wood, the same depth as the shelf, and give it some Danish oil. Sometimes the easiest solution is the best solution. Let's try a dry fit and see how these shelves come together. Okay, wait, I found the tech. It's working. Oh, no. Stay there. No. Yeah, these shelves are obviously going to need some supports. Duh. To fix the, well, entire project, I've cut out some spacers exactly the same size as each other, then made some 1x1 supports. The legs are from that old 4x4, and after cutting them, they're going to experience some level of warping. Since the tension keeping them together is now gone, clamping these spacers together will give me the desired width. I fixed the warping, which is super nice. I'm loving that, that's nice. It's really rigid, it's not going anywhere. And it can almost stand up by itself. Almost. I might have to pivot here. I might have to pivot because I actually really like the shelf being there. And it was gonna be 12, 14 inches higher. Ooh, I don't know. I do like that. I think I'm gonna do it. I mean, this is standing up really well. Ledges are really clean. Not literally, because I mean, I got them really dirty, but I'm really happy with this. A lot of people probably would have called it there, but there are two more things I want to do. I really like, aesthetically, arch and diagonal supports. Done properly, they will add stability to the shelf, and they will also give me more surfaces to hang plants or accessories. Here's some cool advice that I want to give to anyone that wants to grow plants more successfully. It's been proven more than once that almost every plant that exists likes diffused, not direct light. And what I mean by that is plants like refracted light from all directions instead of centralized spotlights. What I have here is some clear twin wall paneling you can pick up at most big box stores. I'm using these because I have extra from the greenhouse pergola that I built. You can easily make any clear plastic or acrylic into diffused lighting. All you need is fine grit sandpaper like 150 or higher. As you see here, the clear panel does nothing to spread this spotlight. However, when I introduce the frosted panel that I just made, you can very clearly see a difference in light refraction. This is both easier on your eyes, and it's also better for your plants. Let's finally build this thing. As my first room renovation for this YouTube studio, I genuinely could not be more pleased. I love nature. It brings an inner peace to me that really nothing else can. And for this to be the very first thing I see when I open the door to my work area, it helps me stay grounded and humble. If you've liked my content, like it and subscribe. If you have any questions at all, leave them down below. The next project for this studio is going to be a self-maintaining trellised aquarium. But first, I'm going to need to build a cabinet for it. Like always, I hope you have a great day. And remember, creativity is a skill, not a talent. Until next time.